Hello, my name is Amber and I am the Programme Manager for our animal degree courses here at Plumpton. So I'm just going to give you a summary of those courses and what they involve. So we have two courses. Our first is a foundation degree in animal behaviour and conservation, and the second is a Bachelor's of Science top-up degree in animal behaviour and welfare. So our foundation degree, what that involves, what that means, is it's a 2-year course that is essentially like the first 2 years of a 3-year bachelor's degree, and so that gives quite a lot of flexibility if students then want to go straight into work after 2 years, take a gap from studying, or quite commonly then go on to a top-up year that's maybe more specialist or even in a slightly different area. So it's quite flexible. So the course is over 2 years and it involves really quite a broad range of subjects. So our course in particular is quite good for anyone who maybe knows that they really want to work in the animal industry, and they want to study at a higher level but maybe is not 100% sure exactly what type of work they want to do, or for someone who does know exactly what they want to do but is still really interested in lots of different areas. So it's a very science-based course. So in particular we have a really big biology module in the first year, but then students study lots of other topics, things like animal behaviour, an introduction to conservation, management of animal collections, as well as things that help support, developing academic writing and researching skills to help with university study. And then in the second year, students get the chance to specialise more in their areas of interest. So they do things like a work placement so they can get experience alongside their degree, which really helps with employment. And they do a short research project, and then they pick from optional modules, which includes things like animal learning and training, and wildlife conservation, which is usually a particular favourite because it involves a field trip to a private reserve in South Africa. But I believe our lecturer Jenny is talking more about that in her video, so I'll leave the details to her. So once students finish the foundation degree, they have the option of applying for top-up courses, which is like that third year equivalent of a 3-year bachelor's degree. So we offer one in animal behaviour and welfare, but there's loads of different courses offered all over the country. So if you're more interested in something like ecology or conservation, then you could go and find a course that does that. On our course, we have quite a large research component, so a large research project makes up about a quarter of the course, and then we also have modules like animal welfare and law, animal cognition and neuroscience, and then optional modules again so students get a bit of opportunity to specialise. So for example, our human animal interactions module, which is taught by our lecturer Jess, who I believe talked about this in her video, but she's a particular expert in that area, having done a master's in primatology and then a PhD currently in anthrozoology. So our optional modules in particular are really taught by people for whom that's their area of expertise, which is a really good opportunity for our students to learn from. Then in terms of how our courses can be studied, both of the courses can be studied part-time or full-time. A full-time student, I would normally say to think of it like a 5-day-a-week commitment, but only some of those days are timetable for students come in on site. So for the foundation degree, that's usually 2 to 3 days a week, and for the bachelor's top-up, that's about 2 days a week. In terms of what students can do afterwards, there's really such a range that it's quite hard to list them all, but some examples range from zookeepers to conservation assistants, kennel managers, animal behaviourists, ecological surveyors, and then some students we've had go on to higher study like master's degrees. So it's a real broad range, and it does depend a lot on what in particular you might be interested in doing as a career. So I would always encourage people to have a look at jobs being advertised and see what kind of experience and qualifications they ask for. Our courses are a little bit different from a lot of sort of large university courses. One of the ways that they are different is that our group sizes tend to be quite a bit smaller. So our year groups will be maybe up to about 20 students, so it's very personal. I know all my students personally, and they all know their lecturers, you know, by name. They get a lot of sort of one-on-one time. We also have a lot of resources on site, so like our animal management centre, where we've got over 100 species, as well as our other animal resources on site, like our working farm and stables if students are interested in those industries. So you can find lots more information about both courses on our website, so have a look there if you're interested in things like entry requirements or module details. Otherwise, if you've got any other questions, then please feel free to get in touch.